Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, the internet's most interactive Raiders channel. So I got a fun show on tap today. News and rumors around Derek Carr, Jon Gruden, and at the very end, so make sure you stay tuned, around Jalen Ramsey. Let's get right into it around Derek Carr. So Carr was asked after the loss to the Minnesota Vikings what he thinks about the offense. Derek said that he understands that his production level is unacceptable, but doesn't think that the offense is in dire straits. And Derek was quoted saying, "We definitely move the ball." I don't know if I watched a different game than what Derek played in, but it was like a full-on dad moment for me where I wasn't mad at the Raiders. I was just really disappointed in the overall effort on the offense and on the defense side of the football. And if Derek's telling me we move the football, I mean, maybe if you look at the end of the box score numbers, because the Vikings were kind of like, all right, guys, we're going to play prevent defense at the end. But moving the football for a total of 302 yards in the NFL, last time I checked, is not very good. And then you look at yards per play, 5.2. Shout out to my man Tom. He gave me a cool stat. Only 2 passes over 20 yards last week against the Vikings. That's not going to get it done. Sure, you're going to say 27-34, Mitch, that's good, 242 yards. But if you're just hunting down box scores, you're going to say, okay, Derek played okay. The issue is Derek really did not play very well. Now, the offensive line also struggled. The receivers, including Tyrell Williams, did not get open. Luckily, Darren Waller showed up in this football game, or else it would have been a whole lot uglier. So the question that I'm going to ask everyone right now, what is your confidence level in the offense? Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being like, I have no confidence whatsoever. 10, we're the best offense in the NFL. If I see 10s, I'm going to be questioning a lot of things. So, confidence level in the offense, scale of 1 to 10. So I asked you guys to get me to 25,000 subscribers. Now I'm asking you to get me to 30,000 subscribers. And I'm a man of my word. I said once we get to 25K subscribers, I'm going to give out more tickets. So, I'm a man of my word. Make sure you guys click that big red button, subscribe, youtube.com/Raiders Report, because the only way that you're going to win tickets is if you are subscribed. But then I thought, I'm like, man, it's been a while, or it's going to be a while until the Raiders play at home again. So here's the Raiders' next 5 games. It is not easy. The Week 5 game against the Bears, that one's in London. So the tickets that I'm going to be giving away, Week 9 versus the Lions, thanks to Raider Nation Store. Go hit up Raider Nation Store on IG. Maybe you can earn a few extra brownie points by giving them a follow on IG. So who wants free tickets? I want you to type tickets in the comments section. Type it. It's the easiest way to show me that you want free tickets is to type tickets, Raiders versus Lions ticket giveaway. And then here's the extra thing. You want extra bonus points? If you've been signed up with BetDSI or MyBookie, I don't care if you did it a month ago, 2 months ago, heck, you can do it right now. I want you to DM me a lion, all right? DM me a lion if you're signed up with BetDSI or MyBookie, because you're going to get some extra brownie points to win those free tickets to the Lions. And if you're sitting there going, Mitch, I'm not on BetDSI yet. Well, hey, we got something pretty cool. Chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Raiders120 for 120% deposit bonus. So you can put down $50, you'll get 6 for free. And then DM me on Instagram that you signed up for BetDSI, and then I'm going to enter you in the Raiders versus Lions ticket giveaway. Sound pretty good? I mean, I'm literally giving you free money and a chance to win Raiders versus Lions tickets. You're welcome. All right, let's go on now to another rumor around Derek Carr. And this one's more from the nation. Now, the nation is not happy right now with Derek Carr's play. And the question that's being asked is Derek a franchise quarterback? So, we put out a YouTube poll in the community. Right now, it's about 60%. And I'll say the following, obviously, on our YouTube community is a lot better than the following on just my Twitter poll. But Twitter says 75% no. YouTube's going 60% no. And then I went through the archives a little bit. I went back in time. I went back 7 months ago and I asked, do you think Derek Carr is a franchise quarterback? 92% of the votes were yes. 7 months. That's a big difference, right? So Derek's career record is 33-48. And then this season has not really gone all that well. Now, he played well against the Denver Broncos, who, despite them being 0-3, I do think that they have a solid defense. The Kansas City Chiefs, I don't think have a solid defense. And the Minnesota Vikings, I also think are a top 5 defense. But the fact that Derek's not really moving the football down the field, I'm going to ask you guys this question. Do you believe in Derek Carr? Type 4 for believe it, baby. Or type 0 for tuck rule, tuck that. We're at this point, and we're only 3 weeks in. Do you believe in Derek Carr? Type 4 for believe it, baby. Type 0 for tuck rule, tuck that. And for all of you that are saying we need to bench Derek Carr, that's not the answer. It can't be the answer because I don't want to go to Mike Glennon, who I saw in the preseason, who had his ups and downs, and then Kaiser. Both of these quarterbacks are not better than Derek Carr, and our offense will not get better if you go to Mike Glennon or if you go to Kaiser. So then I love when people are like, Mitch, the Raiders should tank in 2020 for Trevor Lawrence. Well, first off, Trevor Lawrence can't come out until 2021. So here are our top quarterbacks in the 2020 draft class, according to Tom Downey. So Tua and Justin Herbert are the only two quarterbacks on this list that I would even consider drafting to replace Derek Carr. I'm not a fan of Jake Fromm, who is probably going to be a first rounder. Then Jordan Love, Jacob Eason, these are two other quarterbacks on the outside looking in terms of being drafted in the first round. So those are the top 5 quarterbacks in the 2020 draft class right now as I make this video. So guess what I'm going to ask you? Will the Raiders draft a quarterback in 2020? Type Y for yes, type N for no. My biggest thing, I know I'm a man that said this is a Derek Carr prove-it year. But unless you can go out and get Tua, unless you can go out and get Justin Herbert, I don't think the Raiders should draft a quarterback in 2020. I still think like you can look at it and say, man, think about all the nonsense that Derek has had to deal with this year, including a man, who is an absolute clown. I'm not going to mention his name. Will the Raiders draft a quarterback in 2020? Y for yes, N for no. A man who loves quarterbacks, it's the head coach, Jon Gruden. Now, we're putting a lot of blame on Derek. We're putting a lot of blame on the players. But is it time to maybe point the finger a little bit at this coaching staff? Because straight up, this dink and dunk offense, it's got to go. Something needs to change. And the fact that the Raiders aren't making any changes during the game is very, very frustrating. Week 1 versus the Broncos, come out red hot. Kind of slow up near the end of the game. Week 2 versus the Chiefs, we put 10 points up real quick. And then, nothing. No changes. The Chiefs made their changes. And then what happened against the Vikings? It was a very, very slow start. And the Raiders, if you want to add pieces, right? I mean, think about the offseason. They're like, we want to add players that can stretch the field. If you're not going to stretch the field, then we just have to make a change. So are you guys putting the blame on the coaching staff, the players? But I want you guys to grade Jon Gruden because at the end of the day, he's our head coach. So grade Jon Gruden through 3 games. A, B, C, D, or F. All right? You can say what you want about Derek Carr. You can say what you want about Jon Gruden and the entire offense, but there has been one guy that's shown up every single week. It's Darren Waller. 14 targets, 13 catches last week for 134 yards. But he's been great all year. He has been the best option for this offense. 29 targets. He's brought in 26 of those for 267 yards. Darren Waller, man, I'm telling you what, if he runs for president in 2020, I'm voting for this guy because he's the best story right now in the NFL. You know why I love Darren Waller so much? After a great game, this is what Darren Waller had to say after the Week 3 loss. The first thing that comes to mind is the pass I didn't catch. That's points right there. We could have gotten on the board and entered halftime with momentum. I agree. Then he said this. I look at me first and what I could have done better. There are plenty of things I could have done better. There are things we all can do better. That's why we play a whole season. We can turn things around. Now, I do think that the Raiders can turn things around. But the fact that Darren Waller is balling out and still just trying to correct the little things, I love that. And that's why this man is my favorite Raider right now. Darren Waller is my favorite Raider right now. When you look at his entire story, the production on the field, this is what a Raider needs to be. So I want to ask you guys right now, who's your favorite Raider? I want you to comment below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, let me know. Who's your favorite Raider? And if you're a diehard Raider fan, I want you to subscribe to the Oakland Raiders Report. We're giving out free tickets. We are the #1 Raiders show on YouTube. And I want you guys to join the community because Week 3 was a rough loss. But the fact that then I can still interact with y'all, it makes my job a lot easier. And that's why I love the nation. So please subscribe, hit that big red button, youtube.com/Raiders Report. I promised you some Jalen Ramsey stuff. Well, guess what? You're going to get it. So Paul Gutierrez of ESPN wrote an article and said the Raiders will contemplate trading for Jalen Ramsey. Why? Because the Raiders need help in the secondary since losing Johnathan Abram. Now, let me just say this. This article, okay, is also based off of a bold prediction. Let me just say that. But the fact that it's been floating out there as much as it has been, the Raiders are in contention for going out and potentially trading for Jalen Ramsey. Now, we have for 2 first-round picks, which the Jags, they want 2 first-rounders. We have plenty of salary cap. Jalen Ramsey wants to get the bag. If the Raiders really wanted to make the trade for Ramsey, I think that they could do it. Now, there's other rumors around there that the Jags, they don't want to give up Ramsey now, but Ramsey called in sick today. I don't know about you. I think Jalen's just kind of sick of being a Jag. So, hey, Jalen, all I hear, NyQuil, DayQuil, is really, really good in Oakland. So here's the thing, though. The secondary has looked really bad. I mean, Garyon Conley has not been a cornerback 1. I'm sorry, he hasn't been. Carl Joseph has not really stepped up. LaMarcus Joyner barely played in Week 3. I'm kind of wondering why there. I mean, maybe it's because the production's not there. Here's the thing, though. Garyon Conley, to me, would be a good cornerback, too. Then you can move Worley into nickel, and maybe LaMarcus Joyner needs to stay back at free safety. Because with Jalen Ramsey as a shutdown corner, this allows the Raiders to play the defense that they want. An anonymous Raider said that they want Jalen Ramsey. I think that was LaMarcus Joyner. Remember, LaMarcus Joyner played with Jalen Ramsey at Florida State. They want to play man. At least, that's what this anonymous Raider said. And Jalen Ramsey, I'll say this, is the best man corner in the entire NFL. So, Nation, I got to ask you this before I go. Should the Raiders trade for Jalen Ramsey? We are going to continue to talk about it here because you guys keep asking me, and guess what? It's out there, and I need to know. Should the Raiders trade for Jalen Ramsey? I want you to type T for trade or type D for don't. T for trade, D for don't. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you are. YouTube.com/Raiders Report. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this. I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.